Okay, folks, new day, new shoe, and all. But I, I had to cut the last thing off because I got into a bit of a sort of a pickle, a kind of a combination choking fit and brain fart. So here we go. Plus one. Yeah, I'm doing a little bit more baccarat these days than blackjack, only because this platform enables me to be super transparent. You can see everything that's going on, and Alexa, stop. And like I'm always saying, one of these days I'll remember to shut that off, but I never do. Mind you, I'm quite fond of it. 1, 2, and I think in future I'm only going to put up on the channel the nasties. Sort of like, okay, so what did I just lose? So it's 3, 4, isn't it? Oh dear, now it's 7, 8. I'm not even in a danger zone, am I? Okay, well, we got out of trouble there, so that's good. All right, so back to the min. 2, 3, 5, 6. By golly, it's not been very nice, is it? And yet, over here, it's not looking bad. All right, got us out of trouble just at the right point again. I go longer at lower levels. You'll have gathered that. I think you'll have, I mean, I I stop at 3 consecutive losses once the bet gets over 1,000. Basically, that's how it works. And I'm sure you figured that out. And I know I've mentioned it before, but I've done so many of these now. I don't know what I've said and what I haven't said, and I've got no way of knowing who's just come in for the very first time or who's been with me all the way or any of those things. Oh, and I've increased the size of the timestamp up there at the request of one regular follower who said, well, if you're going to do that, could you make it bigger? So I'm making it bigger. There it is. I didn't want to interfere with the bead plate, and then down here doesn't seem right because it doesn't sort of, oh, well, never mind. So we're back to the min, aren't we? Double for the loss. Double for the tie. That's 2, 3, I think. Yeah, 2, 3. Out of trouble there. Back to the min. 3 players is a very important part of this whole thing, but it's not the whole thing by any means. 1, 2, 1, 2. Out of trouble again. Plus 1. 51. 2, 3 again. Try again. 5, 6. And if you look over here, 9, 13. So we'll run away if we lose this. Oh, and we didn't. It does seem to be into a bit of a groove, this shoe, doesn't it? Keeps bailing us out right at the last minute. Double for the loss. Repeat. Back to the min. Double for the loss. 1, 2. It's right over here, you see. It keeps just getting us out of trouble right at the right moment, which means we are in the groove. Double for the tie. Plus 1. 1, 2. Plus 1. 51. Double for the tie. 3, 4. There we go. Keeps happening, doesn't it? But the whole point really is, if you keep trying to outthink the shoe. I mean, I'm not trying to outthink the shoe. I'm simply trying to go with trends. I mean, WBG, the thinker amongst that group of guys that make up the Vegas Matt team, he's said many times, trends are your friends, and yet nobody takes a blind bit of notice of him. They all play like idiots. And then weirdly, when he gets to the table, when it's his go, he goes back into sort of, sort of like doofus mode. It's just the most peculiar thing. And I've said to them, I said, you guys are losing on purpose. And I got a response from WBG saying, no, we're not. We don't do that. And now, because I keep on calling, no, not because I can't obviously suggest that Vegas Matt takes a blind bit of fucking notice of anything that I say, but all of a sudden they're winners. I've been calling them professional losers for all these months, for a year or so, whatever. And all of a sudden, Vegas Matt is ahead for the year after he won $500,000 in a week. It's very, very odd. But anyway, it is at least amusing. All right, go again. Sorry. I've got to have a bit of fun with these things. I mean, come on, be nice. And if I had to edit out all my squitter, I'd get into terrible trouble. It would just take me forever. Now we're on 7, 8. There it is again. Just before the axe comes down, Double for the tie. +1 for the win. 1, 2. 3, 4. Oops, that's 3, 5 then. Sorry. I don't mind making a bit extra. I hope you don't mind. Repeat. Double for the tie. I think that's good enough. Back to them in. +1. 1, 2. 3, 4. Yeah, this is a nice comfy shoe. This one, it's a slipper. But see, we've won 27 and lost 27 at this point, and we have a shoe balance of 2,250. And how anybody can struggle with the idea that it is possible to win more when you win than you lose when you lose, and then look at these numbers. I mean, what are they saying? Are they saying, yeah, well, what you're doing, Seth, is you're crooking these things. You're mucking us about. This is all rigged. I mean, it's just so stupid. But I think the real opposition comes from casino-backed people. I mean, people whose job it is to trash any potential winning strategy. And this thing is going to catch on. I tell you, it will catch on eventually. But boy, it's hard work. My numbers are going up, and percentage-wise, it's a huge jump over the last couple of weeks. But numbers-wise, it's sort of like, oh dear, I mean, it's just a difference in audiences. That's all. I mean, Vegas Matt appeals to the bozo brigade, and all the others do too. I'm sorry, folks, but that's the truth of it. Nobody who's interested in seeing the games played properly and who wants to learn something new in order to improve their own approach to the games is involved in watching this shit day after day. It's the bozos, the people who sort of like, oh, look at that, isn't that fun, and isn't losing hilarious, and that whole thing. I mean, and none of these guys are in jeopardy. It's all such a con, it is just so preposterous. But bloody hell, there's an audience for it, no doubt about that. Anyway, I'm rambling on, aren't I? I'm sorry. Oops. That's one good, and well, one of the many good things about this program is that they, what are some more options down there? Huh. I know, obviously, I've looked at this before and then just ignored it. But all right. So double for the loss. Sorry, I'm drifting today, aren't I? That's a repeat. Okay, back to the min. +1. Last one. Less another one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this shoe has been really nice. 33 to 30. I mean, anybody who thinks that this is rigged is just so stupid. But there are a lot of stupid people out there for sure. Plussing all the way now. Oh, you rotter. Okay, so the next bet is supposed to be 2. 36 to 31. And I'm gonna do the next one. And I keep telling myself what I should do is only put up the nasties. But I think there's stuff to be learned from the good shoes too. So I'm just gonna keep on doing what I'm doing and hope that the numbers keep rising. Save the shoe, and I'm going to go straight on to a new shoe to pick up that 1, 2 and play on for a bit. One, 2 is the bet. Now back to the minimum, and we'll just play off this shoe. Whoops, damn it. Back to the min. +1. 51. 2, 3. Back to the min. +1. 51. Repeat. 1, 2. Good enough. And the repeat is just about if the bet is 100 or more, then I will not accept a turnaround profit of less than 100. And if it's less, if the bet, the last bet, the turnaround bet was 75 or less, then I won't accept less than 75. So in order to get, the turnaround win of less than 75, turnaround profit of less than 75. So I repeat that too. After that, once the bet gets to over 100, then I'm happy because we will have a turnaround profit of over 100. That's what that's all about. Double for the loss. Double for the win. No, double for the tie, sorry. That's good enough. All right. +1. We are not greedy. 2, 3. 1, 2. 3, 4. 7, 8. Okay, now we're getting into trouble. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 15, 8, and we're going to have to go over to the banker. Because look, we're not in trouble over here. So 15, 8 to the bank. All right, now it's going to have to be 7, 9 for the commission. Always, always take your commission in with the turnaround bet. So 7, 9, and that's going to be 16. I think we better make that 16, 20. No, not quite the last bet. All right, try it again. All right, so now we're on. It's going to have to be 4, 4.5. I could make it 4, 5, but I don't feel like it. Ouch! All right, so now we're on 9, 5 coming to the player. Bloody hell, we're getting our asses kicked, aren't we? And I can't run away yet. Well, I can. But 14-5. No, 14-10. Okay, and now 4-5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now 9-10. Damn it. I think I'm going to run away in a minute anyways, because it's not a nice shoe. And remember, you can run away for any reason, any reason at all. Okay, 19-10. I'm definitely dumping out of this shoe because it's unfriendly. So 19-10 is the bet, and we're running away. And starting another one. I think I left it too late there, actually. But anyway, we'll turn around, but I left it a bit late. Should have run away before. But once it's done, isn't it? 19-10. Remember that nothing changes because the bet is high. Nothing changes. All right, 19-11, whatever. So that's 30. I think we're getting into pump it up time now. 30-25, just to get a better result. Gonna have to go to blackjack if this keeps up. 30-25. Damn it. 55-50. Haven't been in this situation for a long time. Come on, player. All right, and now we're on. I think we'll go 5-10 because we need recompense for the risk we just took. 15-20. Shit. 35-40. Bloody hell. This is crap, isn't it? All right. So we're looking at that was 35-41. So that's 76. And I can't make the next bet because of the table limit here. I can't make the right bet. I suppose I could go to bank. No, I can't. Oh, I could go to the banker and bet 50. So maybe I'll do that. Sorry, I'm trying to sort of like work around the max here. See, I would have frozen the bet anyway because we just had 3 losses in a row. Okay, so where does that leave me? So 76.50, so that'll be 35, the next one, I think. Because look at the commission, it's just enormous. But we will go to blackjack if we have to. This is a turnaround bet at 35. And there it is, the little darling. Damn, we had to work for that. I'm not really very chuffed about this, but at least it demonstrates the way the strategy will bail you out if you've got the bankroll. Um, I know that I should have bailed out sooner from the last one, but there's no point in talking about that because it's water under the bridge. You know what I mean? So, yeah, this one is worth sticking with. We've got 3 bets won and 5 bets lost. I don't want to run away from this one, so I'm going to drop back to the. I mean, only because it's only 8 hands. I just feel bad if I do that. It's a waste of the shoe, you know? And in real play, you wouldn't be able to do this at the same table, but that's irrelevant. You know, what people don't understand is there's no mystical sort of magical thing about a specific shoe. Shuffles don't matter, cuts don't matter, burns don't matter, bloody wind direction doesn't matter, temperature doesn't matter, nothing matters except following trends, following patterns. And that's just what we were doing here, you know. So we've ended up with 9,035 after a lot of bloody hassle. But we're still at, we did that at 20 minutes. So it's not that bad, really. It's just that, the players like Dana White and Steve Will Do It and all the rest of it who are up there in the stratosphere with their big bets and their tight spreads, they give a wrong impression. What I do, obviously, and you've seen this many times before, is I build to a high bet. And once you're in the high bet zone, well, what that basically means is that you are way behind in terms of wins to losses, right? So there's no such thing as you're due, but it's going to happen at some point that there's going to be an offset for the shit that you just went through. But, you can't see when it's coming. You don't know exactly when it's coming. So you just have to stick with the strategy. And now we're at 1-2. We're out of that. That's one. Kind of nice to see the session balance at 10,000 at least. Uh-oh, that's not right. That's good. Creeping up. Plus one. 51. 2-3. Try again. 5-6. Thank you, player. Double for the loss. Repeat. 51. 2-3. Was that good? Did I win? Did I win? Yes, I did. Okay. All right. Damn it. I did not mean to do that. No, I'm stuck with it now, aren't I? It's this thing here where it periodically it just doesn't want to go where I want to go. Back to the minimum. That's a double for the tie. Okay, so we crashed to 10,000. Back to the plus max. Repeat that. Okay, the next one we'll wrap it up. Okay, we'll wrap it up at that loss. So we made 10,200 in 24 minutes. And you decide. I mean, you tell me. But the thing is, what you've got to have is you've got to have the bankroll, you've got to have the patience, you've got to have the belief, you've got to have the sobriety, you've got to be alert, you've got to be a lot of the things that I'm not because I'm, sort of like I distract myself with talking to you lot and, all of that. But anyway, the shoe balance this time, 25,000, which got us out of the deep doo-doo and gave us a 10,200 profit in 24 minutes, which is not awful. All right, and now we're going to look at the results and see what we have. Okay. So 17,415, 7,585, 9. Yeah, very good, very good. Okay. So this one was okay, and we had a slight rollover in here, didn't we? It was just a little tiny rollover, 1 to 2. So that was what got me into trouble. I should have left that alone. But you've got to play on, basically, haven't you? I mean, it's how it's done. Got to keep on trucking. But this bollocks that they keep coming out with about how progressive betting doesn't work. I mean, what a load of cobblers! All right, so let's go and have a look at them, and I'll do the sums with my personal assistant. Bless her cotton socks. That expression apparently has nothing to do with the material the socks were made of. It was a bishop cotton. Years ago, I think it was somewhere in the West Indies, maybe. He had a special fund to make sure that the children had socks because he didn't think the children should run around in bare feet. And so they were called cotton socks. Bishop cotton, yes. Google it. All right, first one. Nice one. Okay, I'll be back. All right, so this shoe was nice to us, and I should have left well alone. It was the rollover that got me into deep doo-doo. But anyway, I'm here to demonstrate to you how you get out of deep doo-doo. But that was more dramatic than I really would have preferred. Anyway, we had 6,525 in wins across 36 wins. That's an average win of 181. 3,900 lost across 31 losers. Average loss 126. Average win over average loss is 144%. So to anybody out there who says that you can't win more when you win and you lose when you lose, then all I can say is you are brain dead, brain damaged, stupid, ignorant, obstinate. I don't know, whatever. Our win of 2,625 across over total action of 10,425 was a 25% win percentage or hold of our total action. The actual value, which is flat bets, 5/73. So that was in our favour. That was a player edge of 6.9%. So we took a 7% edge and bumped it up to 25%. And that's what we're trying to do every time if we can. So, back in a minute. Okie dokie then. So this is where the shit hit the fan, and it didn't get much better in the next shoe. Well, it did get better in the next shoe, but it struggled for a bit. This time, wins of 11,785 across 11 wins. 1,071 is the average win. 29,200 lost, 15 losing bets. Average loss 1,947. So the average win value over average loss value is 55%, and that's not good. 17,415 was the loss across, divided by action of 40,985. So that was a loss of 42.5%. The actual value, the house edge against us was 4/28, which is minus 25%. So we took the minus 25%, and temporarily, because we were just lending the dealer the money for a little bit, temporarily we took it to minus 42.5%, which is a major owie. I'll go on to the next one now. All right, then. So this last one that finally delivered the turnaround, while I was recovering from brown trouseritis and thinking, is this going to be it? Am I going to have to run to blackjack? The point being, of course, that blackjack has a maximum bet of 100,000, whereas this sim caps you out at 50,000. And I have actually thought about contacting them. It's come up in conversation several times. Well, particularly with my best buddy in the baccarat field in California, and they really could make some improvements to the platform, but it's not something that I want to make a big deal about because I think it's bloody brilliant, as it is. It could be better, but then the same applies to pattern betting. Could definitely be better. There's no doubt about that. But I'm working on that. And so is Mo, bless him. He's putting in a lot of time and effort to back me up and help me out and so on. And he's fallen prey to the old story about you can't beat these games without a really big bankroll behind you. And he did his best for months and months and months, but finally hit a bad patch, and it tapped him out. He's not destitute by any means, because he had money set aside specifically for that project, and he's been playing baccarat for many, 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 many years. He's an old hand, but he's kind of resting right now, and who can blame him? Anyway, this last shoe we had a ridiculous situation. And I just want to say to you, if you feel, well, this is completely useless because the bets are just beyond belief and there's no way that you could do that, there's two things to think about. One is that the casinos will tell you constantly, and many other people who work for casinos and many mathematicians will tell you, these games are impossible to beat. So whatever you try to do, forget it. It's not going to work in the long run. They insist on that, okay? The other thing you have to consider is you will see in videos on YouTube and elsewhere instances of people spending far more money than I'm talking about here, vastly more. There's a recent one put up by Crazy Cody Burn Money, where he lost $1 million in a very, very short series of a sequence of bets. Absolutely ludicrous. And I'm sort of thinking to myself, do I want to get into tracking Crazy Cody because he is so bloody bonkers? And then I'm sort of thinking, well, if I'm tracking John Sirasani and D-Gen Dolt and, one or two others, I gave up with Vegas Matt because I'm just sick of watching these guys playing like complete idiots straight off the bus from Boise or wherever. Sort of like, what's this? Is this a card game? I mean, what do we do now? Should we split these? Is that a double dutch? They're just playing to a script. Now, all of a sudden, of course, they've started to win dramatically, and now they're, I don't know, I think they might well be 5 figures into profit for this year. So, damn it, I can't call them professional losers anymore. And anyway, they're only losers at the tables. They're certainly not losers. They've got all this other stuff going on that pays them bloody shitloads of money. And, they're not in jeopardy. They're pretending that their gambling is real. It's not. It's a bloody great con. Anyway, just to wrap this up, this is a strange one. 133,025 won across 20 bets. Average bet 6,651. 108,025 lost, 15 losing bets. Average loss 7,202. What does that mean, good people? What that means is that the average win over the average loss is 92%, which we don't like. But because we won 5 more bets than we lost, it didn't give us a problem. So that's rare, but you have to get into, sort of like 5-figure bet country to encounter that sort of thing. 25,001 total action. 241,050. So we won 10.4% of our total action in that shoe. And I will give you the 3-shoe figure in a bit when I've talked to my personal assistant again. But that was plus 10.4%. The actual value of plus 5 was plus 5 over 38, which was a player edge of 13%. So we didn't improve on that. We actually knocked it down a bit from 13% to 10.4%. But because of the size of the bets and because we had more wins than losses this time, thank goodness, I don't care. So anyway, I'll do the rest of the numbers and come back to you in a moment. Okay, so what we got this time was not the greatest performance that we've had in baccarat, not by any means, but it's a win, and a win is a very important thing when you consider the alternative, which is the sort of the Steve will do it and the well, I was going to say Vegas Matt, but all of a sudden Vegas Matt has decided he's not a professional loser at all. He's a professional winner in more ways than one. But anyway, we won 3.5%, basically, is what happened here. We won 10,210. Total action was 292,460. So that was a win percent for us of 3.5%. The actual player edge for us overall was +6 in 139 bets. So that's plus 4.3. So, I mean, I've seen better, but I'm very happy to take 10,210 to the bank after 21 or 20 minutes or whatever the bloody hell it was. So, I mean, it's one of those situations where we had to go to the mat, bloody hard work. I've been telling you this for years. You can't go into these games with a tin pot, bloody piss pot, lousy, tiny shoestring bankroll. It just won't get you through. You have to treat it as a business. You have to go in with your eyes wide open. You have to not get into all these sort of stupid so-called free cocktails. It doesn't matter that you're tipping the waitress $100 a time. I mean, that's pretty crazy right there. But, all of these people, they're dealing with their own money or not, whatever. So they can do what they want with it. But to sort of be in a position where they're potential role models for people, I think they're just incredibly irresponsible in all kinds of ways. Never mind the people who can't play for shit and claim to be the best in the world. I mean, that's sort of like beyond stupid. But anyway, that's what's happening. And so, end of story. We ended up getting through this. It's one that I'm going to put up because it has nasties in it, which we come through. And that's the whole point of pattern betting, is to come out alive after being battered by the volatility of these games. And always remember, it's the volatility of these games that makes money for the casinos. It has bugger all to do with the 1.3% house advantage for baccarat or the less than 1% house advantage for blackjack or whatever. Nothing to do with anything. That's just the stuff they throw at you to confuse you. The reality is it's all about who has the most money. And look at a dealer's tray next time you sit down at one of these games. Do a quick calculation. You'll find it's somewhere between 100,000 and 500,000 in that tray alone. And if you win all that, then they'll fill it up again because there's lots more money behind that. And I think there's still a rule that says they must have in the cashier's cage in folding green enough money to cover all the chips out on the casino floor at any given time. I'm not absolutely certain about that, but that's what I was told years and years and years and years and years ago. So that'll give you an idea of just how much money is up against you. And it is a battle of the bills, if you like. Who has the most bills? A battle of bills. I like that. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah. Battle of bills. It is a battle of bills. Yeah. I think I'm going to use that as my next thumbnail. A battle of bills. Yeah. All right. Anyway, sorry, rambling on again. See you next time.